Hey everyone, Joe here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to freeze motion using Speedlites. Now, what we'll be doing is a little water splash tutorial here, and I have a little goblet of glass here, obviously. Now, I've got some blue water in here. This is actually just water with blue food coloring, and I've got some lemons here because I like the yellow contrast on the blue here. Makes a really nice looking photo. Now, what we're going to be doing is freezing motion. So I've got the Speedlight set up here, a little Yongnuo 560 Mark IV, and I have another YN 560 Mark IV in this softbox you see behind me. Now, this is a 60-inch softbox. Yeah, it's quite big. You can actually use, if you have any like that transparency paper where you can shoot through it, or work quite nice, like a type of wax paper. I don't have those on hand, so what I'm going to use is my softbox. And so I set it up. I don't use it enough anyways. This would be a good chance to get out and use the thing a little bit. Now, you can try to use one of these what's called scrims here, but I find shooting through this, due to the way the fabric is made, it gives us some weird vertical and horizontal lines. So I can't use this too much. But I thought I'd point that out just in case somebody else wants to try to use it and finds out you really can't. The softbox gives you a nice glow and everything, so it's really nice, and it gives you a nice, look and everything. Now I have mine pushed really far back simply because I don't want the folded lines and stuff in my diffuser here showing up in the background. That's why it's always best to use type of wax paper or some transparency paper like you find at a tailor shop. It'll seem to work really good. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about the setup here. Now I'm using the Canon 80D here with the Canon 50mm STM. And so I'm using two YN 560 Speedlights, and I actually have the Speedlight power on these turned down quite low. The one in the big softbox back here is actually using a power of 1/64th of a, so it's quite fast. That gives me about a 1/18,000th speed, so that's a very short duration, so which makes this a lot better to use than say like a high-speed sync on a Speedlights, because high-speed sync, look at this out correctly, can normally go up about 1/4,000th to 1/8,000th on some higher-end DSLRs like the 80D here, or some of your higher-end cameras. So this is actually much faster. Alright, now I have another Speedlight right here. Now this one's actually set to 128 of power, so it's quite low, but it's just enough to light up right here a little bit, and plus that's going at about 122,000ths of a second speed, so it's a very short duration on that. Now the actual settings I'm using on the camera here is 1/250th of a shutter speed. Now the reason I have it that high is to reduce a lot of the ambient light here in the office. Since I have these video lights and stuff going, try to get as much ambient light as possible. Now if yours only goes up to say 1/80th of a second to 1/200th of a second, that's perfectly fine. You should be able to just have to control the lighting a little bit in the room. Now the ISO I'm using here is ISO 400, which on the 80D is a very clean ISO, so I'm not worried about using ISO 400 whatsoever. It'll work perfectly fine. Now, if I think of anything, yes, I am using an aperture of f11. I would prefer to use something like f13 if possible, but I don't want that softbox back there to show up any of the wrinkles in the diffuser, so that's the reason I'm using f11. Now you want as much depth of field as possible because those splashes are going to be going everywhere. So even though my focus is right here, I'm using f11. If anything goes about these areas right here, it can start to look a little soft. So that's something to keep in mind. Alright. Now of course I'm using a towel. I have an old towel here just because it's water with food coloring, it can stain stuff. So I'm not using a nice neat towel or anything. Of course, I have a little tarp here just to kind of keep water off my desk. And what I'm using here for a reflective surface is a mirror. Now, mirrors are not the best to use. They can be a little dangerous. You might get cut on them. It's best to use a polished stainless steel whenever possible, but that can get expensive. This mirror was free, so that's what I'm using. Alright. Now over here on the camera as well, I have the YN560 transmitter set to sync up both my lights here, and I will have a little wired shutter remote here that I'm using to sync to actually activate the camera when I drop the lemons in there. Now, like I said, I have a little slice of lemon here, and this is quite easy to do here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get a little bit of water here on the lemon, then pick it up so I can see where the drop's falling. And the idea is to, when you drop it, is not to hit the shutter as soon as it hits the water, but to wait till it goes in just a little bit enough that it starts throwing the water that's in the glass out. So let me see if I can get this to work just right. And my camera didn't flash. Let me get it all set up here again. Okay. Round 2. Now, don't be discouraged if you don't get a good splash the first couple of times you do this. You can end up taking probably a good 100 photos till you get the photo that looks the best to you. So let's hit this one more time, and just have to try it and see what it looks like. See if we can't get one more shot in here just to kind of see what we can get. Like I said, you see water's getting everywhere, so here we go. Another good splash. And like I said, you just have to keep trying. This is not something you get right the first time. It's just a chance thing. Keep rolling the dice till you get the photo that looks the best. But anyway, that's it for this tutorial. It's just a quick lighting tutorial. You know, show you what you can do with Speedlites. This is really fun in case you're stuck at home, rainy day, want to play around, do some little splash photography. It's a great way to go. Well, anyway, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you do, how about hitting the like button? And I really appreciate everybody who subscribes to my channel. This channel's been growing quite a bit lately. I really do appreciate it. But if you're not a subscriber to my channel yet, now how about subscribing? Subscribing's free, it's for you, and let you know when I release more videos. Until next time, everyone, thank you for watching.